Hello dear Familienhaus friends. Today I want to talk a bit about the International Women's Day. It is every year on the March of 8th, but you should think about women's rights every day of the year. But first I want to talk a bit about the history of the Women's Day. At the end of 19th century, women and workers' movements took hold in many countries around the world and demonstrated for gender equality of the woman and men. In Germany, Clara Zetkin campaigned for the introduction of an International Women's Day in 1910. 1 year later already, the day was celebrated in Germany, Switzerland, Austria and Denmark. Women's Day. 9 letters with a great significance. F wie Feiertag, F for holiday. Women's Day is an official holiday in many countries. People do not go to work on this day. This is the case in Azerbaijan, Cambodia, Russia and Eritrea, among others. In total, 26 countries have made Women's Day a public holiday. In Madagascar, Nepal and China, however, only women have not to work on this day. In Germany, Berlin was the first and so far only federal state to declare Women's Day a public holiday in 2019. R like Rechte, R for rights. Women's Day is primarily about the enforcement and observance of rights for equality. It is important that the basis is always human rights. These apply equality to women and men. Criticism is sometimes leveled at the fact that special problems of women are not taken into account. In addition, discrimination against women often takes place in hidden and private, so that it's hardly ever seen. For this reason, some people speak about women's rights. However, it is generally agreed that women's rights are always human rights and that need to be achieved and protected by all means. Like Article 3rd of the basis law in Germany. The following is written there. First, all human beings are equal before the law. Second, men and women are equal and have equal rights. The state shall promote the actual implementation of equal rights for women and men and shall work towards the elimination of existing disadvantages. U like und bisher so, U for and so far. At the beginning of the Women's Day demonstrations in the previous century, the focus was primarily on better wages and working conditions. In 1911, more than 1 million women took to the streets and demanded this. A great victory for women was the right to vote. In 1919, women could actively cast their votes and have a say in political events. Other highlights in the 1970s was that women's rights to work. Before that, in Germany, they had to have their husband's permission to work. E for Equal Pay Day. This year it was the 10th of March. This means that until this day, women will mathematically go to work without pay. This comes about because women still not get the same money for their work as men. This difference is called the gender pay gap. N like Nein heißt Nein. N for no means no. If someone does not want something, they say no. Since 2016, the law has stipulated that you do not first have to physically resist sexual violence in order to make a no clear. This is important because it means that assault, such as touching without consent, can be reported. Since the law was changed, more people, especially women, have been supported in obtaining their right to sexual self-determination. The fact that you don't have to shout loudly or push the other person is so important because many of the assaults take place at home and people do not have the courage to draw attention to it. For example, because their small child is sleeping next door. T like Themen, T for topics. The issues surrounding Women's Day are always an issue for society. Currently, there is a lot of talk about what corona pandemic is doing to gender equality. Many jobs in care, like childcare and retail, are done by women. Home office solutions are not feasible there. At the same time, the number of women who have experienced domestic violence has increased in some countries. Due to lack of social context, this is now usually only noticed by other people later because injuries are even less likely to be noticed. Take care of yourself and ask once more whether the other person is really well. A wie Aktion zum Frauentag. A for actions on Women's Day. Women's Day is celebrated differently in many countries. We already know that in some countries it is even a public holiday. Every year the focus is on actions that make the unequal treatment of women visible for everyone. This year the events were colorful and even organized online. Even though Women's Day was already last week, there is still an event tip for everyone from the Magdeburg area. Next Friday on March 19th, pictures of important women will be shown at the Frauenzentrum Courage from 12 a.m. This meeting place for women is in Karl-Schmidt-Straße 56 in Magdeburg-Buckau. The event is of course prepared in accordance with Corona. Even though many good goals have already been achieved for women, unfortunately they still exist. G for Gewalt gegen Frauen und Mädchen. G for violence against women and girls. Whether it is verbal or physical, it must never be tolerated. If you are in a situation where you need help or you just want to talk, we can recommend the following help number. 0800 116 016. It is available all around the clock in many different languages. As we can see that despite all the rights we have already gained, there is still a lot to do better and protect women and achieve real equality. We can only do this together as a society. Let's do it, dear friends of the Familienhaus. Let's protect women and small children. Have a good day and stay safe.